Me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
Okay, so this is like my third time trying to film this. So if this don't work out, I'm gonna take it as a sign. I'm gonna leave it alone. But your girl used to live in a haunted house. This was back when I was like 19, 20. I was stationed in Germany. Yes, a lot happened while I was in Germany. But my boyfriend and I at the time had got the okay to move off the dorms and find a place. I looked for a while and I finally found one that was like really, really nice that I really wanted so bad. And it was in our price range. It was like $1,200. It was 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. And it was, when I tell y'all, I wish I had pictures, but it was so nice. And that was honestly the first red flag. Like the amount that the rent costs for like the size of the place and how nice it was. Like I should have known. But the red flags just kept coming after that. Okay. We went to go see the place and the landlord took us, but the tenants that were in there, they were there too. And they were really trying to sell this house to us because we were going to be taking over their lease. Now they were military too. So I was just being nosy. They were trying to sell us the house. So I had questions. I was asking them, are you guys PCSing? Did y'all get orders somewhere? And they were like, no. I was like, okay, are you guys having a kid or something y'all expecting? Because it was a husband and wife. And I mean, the house was, like I said, it was pretty big. It was really nice, but maybe they needed more space. So I was asking if they were like, are y'all having a kid or something? And they were like, no. These answers was definitely red flag after red flag after red flag, okay? But my dumb ass ignored them. We ignored all the flags, ignored them. So it took us like 30 days to actually, go through the contract with housing and stuff in Germany. It was really weird. But when it was time for us to get the keys and move in, the landlord was out of town. And he was like, oh, you could just go to the old tenant's new place and get the keys from them. They have keys. So we put in their new address and it's like 5 minutes away. We're like, what? So we pull up. It's a block behind the house. So I'm thinking, oh, they done came up. Okay, they didn't move too far. We ring the doorbell. They invite us in. It's the same house. It's the same layout. The view is different. And the view at the house that we're about to move into is better. But it's the same layout. 4 bedroom, 2 bath. It looked the same. That day, they really weren't trying to talk too much neither. They were just really like, hurry up, here's your key. And go about your business. That was another red flag. We should have known. I should have known. But anyways, we end up moving into this house, right? And first couple months is chill. Until one day I'm in the shower and I'm pretty sure I'm home alone and the door starts to creak open. Like it just starts to creak open. I'm like, what the fuck? So where the door is and where I'm at in the shower, I can see the mirror. Like I should be able to see somebody in the door. So I'm looking in the mirror to try to see if it's like my boyfriend and I don't see anything. Mind you, I can't see in the first place. Like I don't have my glasses on. I can't see in the first place. And the mirror's kind of foggy. So I'm like, maybe I just can't see him. So I call out his name and then the door just slams shut. So at this point, I'm like the perfect mixture of scared as fuck and mad as hell. Cause I know it has to be my boy. I know he has to be playing a fucking joke. Like I know he playing. So I get out the shower, I grab my phone. It's in the bathroom still. And I call him and I'm going off because I was yelling his name as I was getting out the shower. And as soon as he answers the phone, I'm telling you, I'm going off. And then I finally just shut up and I can hear that he's not at home. He is at work. Like I can hear work noises in the background. And he's confused. He's like, why the fuck are you going off on me? And I'm like, I thought you were in the house. Like I thought you opened the bathroom door and wasn't saying anything and slammed it shut. He was like, I'm not even there. So now I'm not angry. I'm just scared. But my boyfriend was like, well, maybe it's, so-and-so. I think like 3 other people had keys to our house at the time. So I called all 3 of them while I'm still in the bathroom in a towel. And they're all somewhere else. They're at work or at the gym, at the store or something. They are not here. I am here alone. I called my boyfriend back and I'm like, you need to get home. Like, you need to get home now. So I finally get the courage up to run across the hall to our bedroom and hide and at least put on some clothes. I want to, be able to defend myself. He gets home and nobody's in the house. House is locked up. And he thinks I'm crazy. But guess what started to happen after that day? All of the fucking doors if you left the door open, that bitch would slam shut. And my boyfriend at the time, he would try to write it off oh, maybe it's just the wind. Maybe the house is just settling. The doors are slamming shut. So whenever I had people over, I would just tell them, when you come into a room, close the door behind you or it's going to get slammed shut. At some point, we're going to be sitting here chilling and the door just going to slam shut. And I know what y'all probably thinking, bitch, why you didn't just move? I had like 9 months left on my orders and no money to break this lease. So me and the ghost, we were just gonna hang out. But anyways, a bunch of other shit would happen. Like, I remember one day specifically, I would tell my friends that I think this house is fucking haunted. Like, I think something is in here. My homeboy, he didn't believe me. He would always come over and antagonize the ghost. But there ain't no ghost in here. And he would get fucked up. But that is a different story time. But I remember one day, me, my guy best friend, and my girl best friend, we were sitting downstairs. We were watching a movie or something. And we knew that we were the only ones in the house. We could hear someone upstairs walking around and opening and shutting doors. The three of us are all people of color, okay? My homegirl looked at us and she was like, y'all hungry? Anybody want to go to KFC? Anybody? We just got up and left, y'all. We got up and left. None of us was finna go investigate. If somebody was up there, they could have a fucking house. I didn't give a shit. We would just get up and leave. And yes, my friends kept coming to my fucking house, even though it was haunted, because everybody was living on the dorms and we were the only ones with the place. So, but I think the craziest thing started happening like 2 months before I actually PCS and like got up out of there. I would be like laying on the couch, like taking a nap, and my boyfriend at the time would be playing video games in the living room. And I would have the craziest sleep paralysis. Like it would be like I heard our front door open and I could hear two people like walking in the house and they're arguing. I can't make out what they're saying and I can't move and I can't see. I could just hear them arguing. I'm like whimpering. Like I remember like trying to like scream. I feel like I'm screaming, but like nothing's coming out. And I would be like whimpering or whatever. And eventually my boyfriend would shake my leg and like I would wake up and I'm like, did you hear that? Did you see that? I literally would get so scared, like falling asleep in the living room because it would always be like two people arguing, but I would be in this like sleep paralysis and I could hear them like their tone was like they were arguing, but I couldn't make out what they were saying. But yeah, my husband, he didn't want to believe me for a while. Like I would tell him when we first met, like, yeah, I used to live in a haunted house. And he didn't believe me until my homegirl, the one that was like, y'all want to go get some food? Y'all want to leave? Until she came to town and she told him like all of the stories because it was a wild time. Would antagonize the fucking ghost. And it kind of fucked him up a little bit. So a little backstory first. When I lived in this house, it was from 2014 to 2015. And that was like a year or two after the movie A Haunted House had came out. And y'all know how I was saying I would tell my friends to make sure that they closed the door so that the ghost wouldn't like slam the door shut. So whenever I would tell my homeboy, he would always, reference that movie. He would always be like, that part where she's like, stop, you don't want to make it mad. And he was like, I don't give a fuck, Keisha. I'm going to insert a clip.
Right, cut it out. You're going to make it mad.
I don't give a fuck, Keisha.
So he would always act like, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. Or I ain't scared of no ghosts, To the point where like we started calling the ghost Keisha. So like if anything weird would happen, we would either not acknowledge it or we were like, oh, Keisha mad, she's slamming doors. So one day my friends that came over, they had been drinking and they lived on a dorm. So they weren't going to go back on base because, they were drinking and they didn't want to drink and drive. So they were like, okay, we'll just spend the night here. I think it was like 3 friends that were spending the night. So my homeboy that would always antagonize the ghost, he ended up having to sleep on a couch. So my living room was weird. It had a door separating the hallway from the living room. So before I went upstairs, like I gave him a blanket and a pillow and I had made sure that door was closed. So I go upstairs and I go to sleep. But I'm usually like the first person to get up anyways. And when I got up in the morning, my friend was not there, which was weird because we were drinking. Like I know he didn't drive back to base, like because we was drunk. But I had texted him and I didn't hear anything from him. But he and I worked together and it was Sunday. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just see him tomorrow and we'll just talk about it tomorrow. So Monday morning, like first thing when I see him, he's like, bro, I ain't coming to your house no more. And so I was like, what happened? He said he was in my living room. He was sleeping for like maybe an hour or two. And then he heard a door slam, but he didn't know which door it was. And so he just made a little comment like, all right, chill out, Keisha. And he just tried to go back to sleep. And the next thing you know, he hears like the microwave open. Like it just like it was one of those push microwaves and like the door like comes open. He said it like flew open, and he got up and looked because he could see my kitchen from where he was sitting on the couch. And the light of the microwave, like the inside of the microwave, is like shining, but nobody's in the kitchen. He said that shit sobered him up so fucking fast. He got up and left. And he was fucking not fucking around. He did not come back to my house for like a while after that. And when he did come, he wouldn't stay too long. And then he came for like Christmas because we had cooked. And I had put up all these decorations and stuff. And I didn't have a fireplace. I had like this like beam on the ceiling or whatever that I hung the stockings on. And like they were on actual hooks. And I guess my friend forgot that like all that talking shit is what got your ass scared as fuck the last time. So he still came in there and he was talking shit. I don't give a fuck, Keisha. I don't give a fuck, Keisha. And he was just talking about, you know, how you ain't scared of Keisha, da 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 da. So we just sitting there talking or whatever. Again, it's like Christmas time or whatever. And he's sitting on the couch, which is not directly below the beams, but it's like near it kind of. And out of nowhere, like, I mean, he wasn't even talking shit about the ghost at this point. So literally out of nowhere, his stocking comes flying down and like hits him in the head. I think that pretty much scared all of us. And we were all just trying to be like, well, maybe it just fell. We were trying to justify that shit because it was scary as fuck. Like it was really scary. So that was like the only two incidences where it like kind of came from my friend as he was antagonizing it. But I did want to clear up a couple of other things that people were asking from the previous video. A lot of people have been asking like, why didn't you go and talk to the old renters, or like, you knew where they live? Why didn't you go and talk to them? Y'all, I was fighting for my life. Okay. My dude was cheating on me real bad, real bad. My job fucking sucked. And I was poor, okay? I was poor. Keisha was honestly the least of my motherfucking worries at that time. She just was. No, I didn't do no research on the house. I didn't do no research on the land. Y'all, I wouldn't even go upstairs when she was up there slamming doors and I could hear her stomping around. I wouldn't even go up there. So hell no, I wasn't investigating shit. Oh, also people were asking like, your friends really just hung out and they knew the house was haunted. Okay. So at the time, the base dorms were dry, which means that there was no alcohol. And again, I wasn't the only one with problems. We all have problems. Okay. And we were trying to drink them away. So ghost or no ghost, depression was hitting us hard. All right. We was getting fucked up. But yeah, y'all, that's it. That's the story time. Okay. My bad. I meant to mention this in the last video because everyone keeps asking if they were the arguing when I was in the sleep paralysis, if they were talking in English or in German. So the sleep paralysis thing maybe happened to me like 3 or 4 times, always in the living room. But that first time really fucked me up. Like I was saying, I was asleep on the couch and I didn't think I was asleep, but I could hear my front door open and like people walking towards where we were in the living room, and I could hear them arguing. But at this point in time, I'm like fighting for my life to try to get up or get my boyfriend's attention because he was on his game. So I could tell that they're arguing. I cannot make out any words at all. It's just like the tone of like somebody arguing, but also it felt like maybe like, you know, having your hands covering your ears or something. It sounded so muffled, but I really honestly wasn't even focused on what they were saying because they were like standing behind me and I'm asleep on the couch. And I was just terrified, just trying to like internally I'm screaming, but I guess coming out as whimpering. And then like my boyfriend eventually heard it and like shook my leg. But while this was happening, like I could hear them muffled, but I could also hear him muffled too. And he's talking shit because he's on the game. I think he was playing like, he would either be on Madden or Call of Duty and he would be playing online. And like I could hear him too, but he was also muffled. And I'm like, help, like I need help. And after that first time, I really, really tried to make it a point not to fall asleep in the living room, but I would still have the paralysis. Like I said, maybe 2-3 times after that, but I guess you don't know that you fell asleep, but I would feel like I'm awake, like I'm just watching him play the game. And then I would be in it. I would be in the sleep paralysis, and it would be not them walking in. They would just be behind me. I would be on the couch and they would be behind arguing, like muffled, and I would be fighting for my life to try to get his attention, so that he could shake me and get me out of it. So I would say, you know, with all the doors slamming and stuff and the hearing somebody walking around upstairs, like the sleep paralysis was absolutely the worst part to it. But like I said, that only happens like I have maybe 2 months left, if that. And it happened, you know, a couple of times. And yeah, I was just mental note, don't sleep in the living room. Don't fall asleep in the living room. So to answer all y'all questions, I have no idea. I have no idea if they were talking in German, if they were talking in English. I just know I'm trying to fight for my life to get up out of that sleep paralysis situation.